I'd just like to say thank you so much for asking me to speak today. So I just want to share a little bit about the context of my school. So we're an all-age special school. We have a nursery as well as a post-16 provision, and we have the majority of our students have profound and multiple learning difficulties, and but we also have quite a lot of students all across the disability range. And many of them have complex medical needs. So our school was in the position of having lots of health and safety concerns well before COVID. But COVID created ones that we'd never ever thought about. So I have been a rep for over 10 years. So that does help if you've done this for a little while, and I have so much admiration for those people, those of you who've become reps in this time, because you have stepped up, and some people have become COVID reps, and it will be really interesting to see how many people step down from that, because it's actually very hard to step down from being a rep because you get to feel successes, and today that's what we're going to be talking about. And there are lots of different kinds of successes that you might experience. Some of them are just around being able to collectivize with your group. Zoom has made it easier to meet in a weird way, but harder to have the informal conversations that we tend to have with our members just in the corridor. But it's easier to get everyone in a group where some people might not overhear, for example. Some people don't like coming to union meetings because they're worried about being overheard by a head or deputy, for example. I'm in a very supportive school at the moment with very supportive management. That hasn't always been the case. So I have experience of working with management groups which aren't supportive of the union, as well as those which are. So some of the things that happened right at the beginning of this crisis for special schools were that we were told that anyone with an EHCP can attend school. So that's everybody in a special school, when the rest of the country schools were closed and only very small numbers of children were in. So, and there was no guidance, nothing. And we started to talk about how some of our students were extremely vulnerable to the virus, and that wasn't being acknowledged by the government at all. So they were basically placing some of the most vulnerable children medically right in the path of the virus. So some teachers started to think about, they're also union members, started to think about what that means for our families and our children. And we started to write to the union. So that was me and a couple of others. We were all just emailing the SEND department of the union saying, no, this is absolutely wrong. We can't have this. And as we started doing it, more guidance started coming out of the union about what we should do in schools. That was actually starting with special school reps kind of talking about it urgently, let's just say. And then we started talking about it with our school groups. What should we do? How can we address an issue that no one is talking about in the press and no one is talking about in the government? So then the guidance started coming out by the union. And for the first time ever, we found that special schools, the heads and deputies and management of special schools were absolutely so grateful that some guidance was coming out, because the DFE had nothing at that point. And it meant that my school in particular took on all of the guidance, everything. And they started to think about ventilation very early. We had masks right from the start. We had social distancing right from the start. We were asking our our school governors to talk to the borough about reducing sizes, reducing transport capacity. We were looking at cleaning regimes. So my school hired extra cleaners. Somebody came in the afternoon to clean all the high touch areas. And we had very, very few children in school in the first lockdown, and more in the second, because schools weren't closed. So there were lots of things that were won, lots and lots of things, and all through collectivizing. We also have a group of reps now, which has never happened at my school before. So 2 TAs are also reps at my school, and we've encouraged the other unions to also hire reps so that we can talk together. So they are all electing reps too. So this has really helped to bring the school together as a team of educators. Thank you.